This is Vigilant Liberty Radio News from Independent Journal Review for December 16th. After nearly 17 hours, the hostage situation in a Sydney cafe has come to an end. The gunman, identified as Iranian Man Haron Monis, held at least 13 people hostage since 10 a.m. Monday local time. Several hostages escaped during the course of the day, reportedly making Monis agitated. When several more hostages escaped in the evening and loud bangs were heard from the cafe, armed officers stormed the building and the siege ended. Monis, a self-described cleric who called himself the Brother, first garnered the attention of police when he wrote letters to families of Australian soldiers who fought and died in Afghanistan. He also had an extensive list of criminal activity, including at least 50 allegations of sexual assault, and was charged as an accessory to the murder of his ex-wife. 2 of the hostages were killed: 34-year-old Tori Johnson, who managed the cafe, and 38-year-old Katrina Dawson, a barrister and mother of 3. Monis was also killed. The school lunch guidelines touted by First Lady Michelle Obama are not yielding the results she had hoped. There has been no improvement to the health of school children, and it now appears the rules have created a significant financial burden on school districts. Only 18% of school lunch programs are expected to break even this year, and the School Nutrition Association is hoping for funds from the Omnibus Appropriations Bill. SNA CEO Patricia Montague explains, quote, "The USDA's regulations were well intended, but they have resulted in unintended adverse consequences. Since the new standards took effect, 1.5 million dissatisfied students have given up on school meals, taking their lunch money with them. The financial impact is crippling some school meal programs and limiting their ability to invest in the kind of innovative, appealing menus that can entice students back to the cafeteria." The Omnibus Bill does not offer relief from the nutritional standards, however. This relief would have been in the form of waivers allowing school districts to opt out of the guidelines if they fell short on food budgets for a period of 6 months. Since 1969, the number of students receiving free lunch has steadily increased to just over 60%, while the number of students receiving reduced-cost school lunch has remained steady at just under 10%. Some schools have begun dropping out of the program, and many have taken to social media to criticize the quality and quantity of those lunches. The program is set to expire next year, opening the door for the House and Senate Republicans to amend the standards. And former President George W. Bush made a low-key surprise visit to the 9/11 memorial in New York City on Sunday. Hoping his discretion would avoid photo ops, Bush arrived at the memorial around 6 p.m. Sunday evening and, according to reports, he was clearly moved by the museum and its contents. Bush did not mingle with crowds or pose for many pictures, but did shake the hands of Port Authority police officers. This was the former president's first visit to the 9/11 memorial. This is Amy Curtis with your Vigilant Liberty Radio News from Independent Journal Review for December 16th.
This show is produced by IJReview.com.
This show is copyright by VLR Media. All opinions of panelists and guests are their own and may not reflect the opinion of VLR Media, the host, or anyone else.
Now let's be clear. Now let's be clear. There are no winners here. Now let's be clear. Now let's be clear. Now let's be clear. There are no winners here.
Two minds are better than one. Time for the right mics with Mike Miller and Michael Hausum.
Well, welcome to the show. You are listening to The Right Mics with Mike Miller and Michael Hausum. Thank you so much. If you'd like to call in this hour, please do. The number is 412-567-6879, or you can also actively involve yourself in the show via our Twitter account, which is at The Right Mics, which is MICS. Miller, what's up, man? How are you?
Man, I am pumped today, brother.
Yeah?
Oh, absolutely. You're not?
Well, you know what? I'm absolutely deluged. Obviously I got the memo yesterday, and so I've been tasked with writing a couple of speeches, managing the social media campaign for Jeb's
Hey, let's just do this.
presidential.
See you. Yeah, let's just do this together. We want Jeb. We want Jeb. We got Jeb. We got Jeb.
Oh my
Are you
God.
kidding me, man?
I know. I just it's funny, man, is I did you put up that really straight, flat, here's the news about Jeb, which was great on IJ Review. And the Twitter comments have just been killing me all morning, man.
I'm serious. You're right, man. Hey, listen, I put that up that way because I did want to make the point at the end that as I still try to hang on to a shred of political journal. Well, let's don't go there. But yeah, I mean, we got Jeb. Mitt's rumblings going on. You got a bunch of Republicans. You got Hiawatha, and Hillary. It's going to be a great. It's going to be a great routine. But the tweets, predictable as hell about Jeb, right?
Oh my gosh, just so funny. In fact, you want to go through some of these? Or
Let's go for it. No, let's go.
I think this is by far the biggest thing going on right now, so we should definitely start with this, don't you think?
I told you I'm pumped up. Let's run.
Yeah, although you know what, I realized the last couple of days we didn't make our daily disclosures. Maybe we should hit that real quick.
Yeah, just in case, because there are people out there wondering. Because when silence sometimes is tacit admission. So I think,
Yeah, and so we can't do that. Okay, so here's the deal. For you folks that are new listening, or those that are extremely regular listeners and want to know where we stand today, I'm going to go ahead and outline the three most important things about me that basically will allow you to predetermine every single thought and idea that I ever come up with as a result of these three categories. So, real quickly, I am today a male heterosexual white man.
and I am also a male heterosexual white man. So as we've said in the past, I think for the rest of the 90 minutes that are left, all we need to do is just bullet point topics, and people who understand the significance and importance of the three things we just outlined will know exactly what we think and how we feel on every one of those bullet points.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, so just understanding that, it's funny is every time we realize that we've stated all of our positions on every issue and every thought, feeling, consideration, instinct, idea, vision we've ever had, just based upon our racial, sexual preference, and gender categories, I kind of feel like we should just re-loop the intro music over and over and over again for the next 85 minutes or whatever.
I think that might be a good point. Maybe give that a shot tomorrow.
You know what? We could do that tomorrow. That also could be, I'm not sure if we're broadcasting. I'm assuming we're not on Christmas Day. That's what we do. We just interchange. You know what we could do, Mike? We could interchange a loop of our disclosure for the day, our self-identification for the day. Loop in the Army We Have's intro music, plus that little chorus of you and I yesterday singing Sam Jackson.
Now, see, that does need to be in there because that was I listened to that purposely after the show. That was Grammy worthy, I believe.
Oh, dude, I giggled about that all day long.
Actually, you and I laughed out loud. I think the computer cut us off. It did not cut us off, but I mean the computer ended the show as it should have, and we were not cut off. But you and I laughed out loud as the show was ending. And then when I went to the podcast and I listened to the whole show, which incidentally, those of you who did not hear the show yesterday, Andrew Clavin, Michael Schaus, you definitely need to go and hear the podcast and tell your friends to listen to it. Perhaps as we put up on our blog, therightmites.us, perhaps that was our best show. But anyway, awesome. As I listened to the end on the podcast, I laughed just as loud, dude. That was priceless, man.
I mean, where else can you get two mics singing Sam Jackson's song in such joyful, peaceful, unicorn-esque
other than maybe possibly pay-per-view, but that was absolutely That was perfection, man.
And we're not at that level yet. I mean, at some point, we'll get to the only way you can hear the words coming out of our mouth is by paying up front.
I think you're, and that, again, I think we took large strides in that direction yesterday with our singing, of course.
Exactly.
All right, let's do the tweets. Let's hear some of the tweets.
All right. So why don't we just share back and forth, or do you want me just not share back and forth?
No. You do them because I don't have them up. Did you send them?
Oh, you don't. Okay. So this was an article that just went up on ijreview.com a few moments ago. Twitter actively explores reaction to Jeb Bush, maybe possibly kind of considering presidential run.
Is that your headline?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Number one, the idea of choosing between Hillary Clinton and Jeb Bush for president makes me want to throw up. While Obama finishes picking up the mess left by his brother, Jeb Bush announces an exploratory committee.
I wonder what the persuasion was of that guy.
Exactly. If Jeb Bush makes an announcement in the forest and nobody cares, and this next one is from recent guest Kurt Schlichter. Jeb Bush dreams do come true for Hillary.
Yeah, that's probably more true than not.
Charles C.W. Cook, I predicted yesterday that Jeb wouldn't run, so that went well. Phil Kirpin, if it's Clinton versus Bush, I'm voting for Perot.
That's pretty good, actually.
Right. Stephen Cruiser, who's a friend of mine out here. You rubes from the hinterlands, best hush about Jeb if you know it's good for you. There's a secret double beltway strategy happening here. David Berge, vote for Kerry, Kennedy, Cuomo, Bush, Clinton, Ming, Tang, Khan, #Dynasty Party.
No kidding.
Kieran Davis, I am in my earlier tweet. The only thing less inspiring than a Jeb Bush run is another John Huntsman run.
There we go.
And this is a guy, Mike's Right 13. So, at MP House, at the Right Mikes, at Jeb Bush is running, huh? I'm shocked. Yeah, no. Let the Republican death march begin. #yawn.
And see, it's exactly true. Just listen. #Dole, #McCain, #Romney last time. It's whose turn is it? It's Jeb's turn. He's a Bush. I believe that. I think, as the other tweets indicate mostly, that's exactly what would happen.
Right. Ben Shapiro, GOP geniuses. In 2012, the top issue was Obamacare, so we ran the Republican who invented it. In 2016, top issue is immigration, so we run Jeb.
I love Shapiro, by the way.
Oh, Shapiro's awesome. You know, it's funny. My oldest boyfriend lives in Seattle, and he does work.
Okay, wait a minute. Back up the bus. Your oldest what?
My oldest daughter.
Oh, I thought you said
I think I skipped a word.
Yeah, you said your oldest boyfriend. All right, wait. We got to rerun the show, or at least we got to at least edit the podcast and edit out your mail. Well, whatever. But anyway,
my disclosure. Okay, that's very funny. My eldest daughter, her boyfriend lives in Seattle, and he does work at a radio station up there, and it's the one that Medved and Shapiro do their shows through.
Okay.
And he oftentimes will produce Ben Shapiro's radio show.
Wow, that's cool.
That's cool, huh? Yeah, I love that guy. Okay, T. Beckett Adams. Perfectly honest, it would be hilarious if the GOP's response to losing twice to President Obama is to run a Bush in 2016. Hugh Hewitt. Does the entry of Jeb change anyone's plans other than Marco Rubio at Governor Christie or any of the other governors? Conservative LA. Christie should drop a big hint today just to mess with y'all.
I would not, by the way, I would not put that past Christie to do.
Oh, yeah, that'd be hilarious. National Journal. Jeb Bush hasn't won elected office since 2002, 2 years before Facebook even existed. That's funny. Now, this was my favorite one of all. Jeb Bush sets out to prove George W. was simply their family's difficult second album.